Yo, I'm back with an update for my thoughts on Frigg after her changes. If you don't know me, I'm a value-focused gacha whale, and my goal is to find you the best bang for your buck. Alright, so there was a lot of confusion when the patch came out, and I didn't want to make a video without having any concrete information. Having tested her out thoroughly myself, I know what I'm telling you is 100% correct. Basically, there were adjustments to the text on some of her star abilities, but from what I can tell, her damage didn't change based on that. What really matters is that they moved a buff from Frigg's third star to her skill. So even if you don't have any stars on her, you'll get that damage bonus. It's this box section here, which says when you are in the frost domain, skill increase frost attack by 15%. That chatter portion down here was already there. Alright, at face value, you might think, alright, that's kind of dumb because I don't want to DPS on Frigg anyway, and I would agree with you. But that's not how it actually works. The buff applies to any cryo frost weapon in the AoE. So if you switch to Meryl or Tsubasa, you'd still get that 15% bonus. How big of a deal is this? Well, let's just look at our global nerfed Nemesis. Nemesis is a pure support character, and her 5-star ability increases your attack by 10%. 15% if you have 6 stars. So if you spend all that to get 6 stars on Nemesis, you would still only get 15% out of her stars. And you wouldn't get that all the time because you need to have both constructs up to get that 15%. Otherwise you just get the 10. Alright, now with Frigg you get that 15% attack bonus for your entire ice team at 0 stars. And all you have to do is press one button to get that and stay within her AoE from her skill. In my last video, I didn't really recommend getting her at all because she was pretty underwhelming aside from Frost Resonance. I think my recommendation was if you want a Frost team, get her, but keep her at C0, star 0, whatever. Now I think she's a must-have. The damage bonus is insane for the value that you're getting out of it. Just because the buff applies to all your Frost characters. And you're not really screwed if the enemies move out of your skill AoE like you were before. Yeah, it sucks if they move, but you could still swap to a ranged Frost character and still get that damage bonus. So like switching to Tsubasa, you would be able to get bonuses on your arrows. Meryl, you could still hit things outside of the AoE with your skill. That's a pretty big deal. I would say that 0-star Frigg is worth getting even if you don't have a Frost team. Eventually you're going to get a Frost team because that's just how gachas work. You're eventually going to roll a Meryl and a Tsubasa, and you might pull for another Frost character down the line. You're going to want to have a good, or at least a decent team for each element. So, yeah, I would recommend Frigg. Also, she's probably going to be the only Frost Resonance character we get for a long time. Alright, let's talk stars. I got all 6 stars on Frigg. I said I wouldn't do it, but I decided to purely because I wanted a capped out DPS kind of weapon, and that just wasn't going to happen for a while unless I got her to 6 stars. I did test her along the way. I don't recommend getting her any stars if you're free to play her Dolphin. Claudia's banner will overlap Frigg's, just like Frigg overlapped Nemesis. So if Claudia does have physical resonance, like rumors suggest, then you'd just be better off having both characters at 0 stars, since your account as a whole would be better off. Also, Claudia seems to be very star dependent, so if you do have money to spare, you're probably going to want to get dupes on Claudia over Frigg. If you're a whale, like me, I still don't think I'd recommend getting any stars on Frigg. Like I said before, I only got her because I wanted that 6-star Frost sub DPS. Um, I still I do think she's worth. You'll get your money's worth out of her damage. Is how I'd say that. But you could say the same thing about basically any SSR. So uh, I guess what I'm trying to say is she's not bad if you want to wail out on her. Um, Before I go, I wanted to mention a side note since I didn't really know where to throw this in. If you if you didn't have 3 stars before the changes, you probably were using Freak skill after you buff yourself up with Nemesis or Subasa. I think the strategy was you would shoot some arrows or use the Nemesis buff, and then you would switch into Frigg. Now, since the buff is uh, moved from the 3-star to the skill, you already get that 15% bonus just by popping Frigg skill. So nowadays I will group enemies up, then open with the Frigg skill. I don't know if this is efficient damage-wise, but the fights feel a lot more fluid this way. All right, I hope this helped you out. If you got any input, let me know. Later.